Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, so lots of things coming up here. They did some improvements to Stormworks, I see. So what that means is hopefully in the future I'll be able to continue my career, my classic career. So look to that. It's going to be two videos here. We're going to do a Stormworks video and we're going to do a Roblox studio video. So this Stormworks video, what I'm trying to do here is I want to make like a depth thingy that scribes the seafloor. So all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set that up. So I have text here, and then it's offset by the distance. Alright, so as we travel, there you see. So what it's doing is it will print the depth. Now that works if I want the let's see what am I trying to say? Slider speed. Right. So what we then need to do is take that speed. Alright, so I've set up a microcontroller. We have our depth coming in. Now we also need our ship speed, because this is going to 2. Alright. Then in the Lua script we want to say and then we need value B. Really easy. There we go. Now the text should be going across the screen this way based on our speed, and it should be bouncing up and down based on our depth. I wonder if that would probably help. Alright, so if we turn it on, the depth is working, but the speed, it could be that it's not the throttle. So the problem here is this is between 0 and 1. So we now have to scale that way. So we have to multiply this number. Probably no, multiply or divide. Do we divide? Maybe we divide. So if we divide that by the width of the screen, in this case it's 3 by 3, so it's 96 pixels. Maybe. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the text to go this way across the screen. Now there's a way to set it up so it does that. But I want to see if I can get it to move with the throttle. No, I think we need to multiply it by 96. Because the number is, it's a fraction of a number. So we need to make it bigger. That's what I'm thinking. We need to make it bigger. So that number, and we're going to multiply that. I don't know. That might not work either. Oh, something happened. Oh. So we need to make that number negative in this example, and we might have to reverse it on the ship, depending on our direction of travel. So what I want to do is eventually I want to make this from text into like a little block, and I'm going to change the colors of it. So the sea floor is going to be one color, and so on and so forth. So we'll just see if we can make it. Oh yeah, see, there we go. So unfortunately, it doesn't. You see? Okay. So. Now this is the difficult thing. This is a constant number, and the clutch speed is a constant number, and the depth is going to be a constant number. So I guess this goes back to, okay, so here, we're going to test this out. Somebody was saying that, all right, here, we're gonna do the, somebody was saying that we can use delta to measure the distance from one point to another point every tick. And he was saying that if we multiply that by 60, then we'll know how many, that'll give us our distance per second, because there's 60 ticks in a second. I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying. So I want to check it out, if I interpreted that correctly. So here, let's do this. So let's take an astronomy sensor, okay, and we're going to put it here, and we're going to put another one here, and then we need a blank microcontroller. All right, and then this is here, and then in the blank microcontroller we just need 2 inputs and 1 output. All right, so we'll have composite, and this is going to be astronomy A, astro B. Okay, now this is important because we can get our XYZ from this astronomy sensor, and we can get our XYZ from this astronomy sensor. Let's see, position is 1 and 2. So, inside the microcontroller, we need to read the number. Channel 1, channel 2, channel 1, channel 2, X and Y, X and Y. So now if we take the delta, so what this does, it outputs the difference between the input and the input from the previous tick. So, oh, we don't even need, I guess, I don't know if we need the delta here. I don't even think if we need this, to be honest. We can just measure. I don't even know if this will work, because all I'm thinking is then what we would need is we would take the X and the Y from the GPS. Yeah, maybe that's what we need. Is a GPS instead of the. I guess it's the same, really. So the XY comes in, and this is the XY. I don't think we need the delta. This is for something different, I think. I think what we can do is we can just subtract. Quite honestly, we can subtract this, and we can subtract that, and then in theory, whatever the output is the difference between the two in meters. So that's going to tell us if we're moving. So you see, so the ship is going to be moving around in the water, right? And I want the screen to be moving sideways with whatever that is. So this is going to give us a constant output, I suppose, from 0, 0, wherever that is on the map. So I guess we could save this position perhaps. When we spawn the ship in and we turn it on, it could save this position, and then we could just we could just do that. So we don't actually, I don't think we need both of these. We just need one. Hear me out on this one here. So make sure I plug it in. Okay. So what we need is a couple of memory thingies. And some thingies. Okay. We need 2 of these. Then what we need to do is we need to subtract this and this and this. And that, in theory, should be the distance between those 2 points. So if we output that, this is going to be on. This would actually be the Z distance. And then in here, what we need on their outputs. So this is our X distance, this is our Z distance. And then on, this is just going to be the set the number. So we need a push. We need a push button. All right, and now what we need are, it could be a couple of dials, could be some display. No decimals, we just want the whole number. Z and X, okay, and we will label this X. And the Z distance. All right, now let's spawn that in and see if we can get a measurable difference. There, now it's at 0. There we go. So now we're measuring the distance off of that point. Okay, so now that we have the distance coming off that point, we can use that as our speed. Now we only need, I suppose we only need one. If we add the numbers together, then that gives us our total value. Total distance off of our starting position. So that it could be what we need for our number output total distance. Update that. All right, we need another display. All right, so we'll check that out. Oh, I don't know if I connected it. Yeah, total distance, and then we can put our total distance into there. So the text should move on the screen based on our total distance. Yes, look at that. Success. And then it's going to print the depth. Success. That's how that works. And then we can reset it. Every once in a while we can reset it. But essentially we just want it to continue to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. So how do we do that? Now what we need to do, now that we have our total distance and we're able to scroll, we need to, what do we need to do here? I guess we need to save this number. Let's see. We take our composite read. No, we need to write this number. And we'll bring it in here. So this is our total distance. No, we don't need to do it in this, in here. That part is done. The distance part is done. What we need to do is we need to go into the other microcontroller where we do the printing on the screen. What's this here? Oh, I was multiplying it by 96. Okay, let's get rid of this. I gotta test that one more time. And this is our depth. I gotta test that one more time. It's working a little bit. I'm not too sure what's going on. I think just the change is so small. Because you remember, it's 96 pixels. I'm going to restart the music. It's 96 pixels by 96 pixels. So, like, our total distance is coming into the speed. Yeah. And so what I was having to do is I was having to multiply that number to get it larger. But I figured so long as it's a constant number. Okay, so now let's look at the Lua. Yeah, I'm just adding it. Oh, hold on a second here. A is speed and B is depth. So this is speed and this is depth. So this should be plus depth, and this should be plus speed. Or distance. So now, because it's in meters, right? So it has to go quite a bit before we're going to get a single pixel on there. And I think that's kind of what's happening. Yeah, see, we haven't even got a whole meter. So now we've got a meter, but the output is negative, so we have to change the output. So we have to multiply the output. What do we have? Take a function block, I guess, single function. And then we can say x times -1. Update that. Spawn that in. So that's all. My example is just not long enough to really give us a full, to give a full wheel on. There it goes. I don't know why it's going backwards. Oh, maybe I have it backwards. Our Y should be our depth. And our X should be our speed. There we go. There we go, right? This is deep. This is speed. I had it backwards. Ah, yes. It's all coming together now. It's all coming together. Alright, so now when we go, yeah, and then of course our depth I think is cool. See, it goes up when it gets shallow, but it's not side scrolling. And I think it's not side scrolling just because, like, there, it moved a single pixel. But you have to see the example, like. So, because this example is so small, it would have to go. Anyways, it would have to go for a while. So what we can do then is we can just multiply that number in here temporarily to make it larger, so we can see that it is scrolling sideways. So I don't know. I think I had it multiplied by. Yeah, I multiplied it by 96. That way each meter or each. There we go, see? And that's probably how we're gonna have it in a ship. Obviously, when you're going like full speed, I think that's cool. And you know, can crank it back a little bit even. Yeah. So what I'm working on is I want to finish the electronics for the crane ship, so we can tow the barge out and plant the oil rig and get all that set up. So I'm just trying to add a few more neat little features to it, some bells and whistles, and then we're going to adapt this. We're going to put this on a map. We're going to do some neat stuff. But anyways, for now, this is what we're doing. So we're able to get it to go sideways. We're able to get it to go up and down with the depth. So now what I want to do is I want to draw that. Instead of using text, I want to actually draw a box. So if we say not a box, rectangle F. It's easier than using the box. So we want this to go from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen. So we want it to start at 95, and then we want to subtract. Oh no, not this one here. This one can start, yeah. This one here we want to be at 95, and we want to subtract minus depth. Yeah, the number is going to give us as positive, so if we subtract it, it's going to bring us back up to the surface. Okay, and then the width, I want to make it 2 pixels wide, and the height, I want to make it 2 pixels high. So then what we want to do is I also want to change the color from green to blue. I think let's just try that for now. Cool, there's our little box. And it moves. Okay. So let's get some Lua color codes. And let's make this, I don't know, let's make this like ghost white. Well, like that. That'll be the seafloor. All right, and then above this box, so it's only 2 pixels wide. I think we're going to make that 4 pixels tall. I think that's the height, right? Yeah, okay. So this is going to be into oh, hold on a second here. That's going to be 4. So this is going to have to be 93. And that can also be 4, but then we want to change the color of that. Maybe to like gold. Let's see. And then that could kind of be like the sand or something. So we could do that, and that could, maybe we'll make that like 8. Okay, and then what we want to do is we'll copy that, and then we'll have one more, and then this can be 0, and then this can be 0, and this can be 255. And then this can be... So what I want to do here is we'll have separate colors for the depth. So in this case, we'll be dividing. We'll be dividing it by 4. So what is that? What is that? Let me get the calculator out. So we get the calculator out, and we're going to say 96 divided by 4 is 24. But then we also have to minus 12 because we've already taken up 12 pixels. Minus 12, which gives us 12 pixels each. So each element can be 12 high. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. And then of course we're going to get rid of the text because we don't need it anymore. Okay, so let's see, that's 93. And then this will be what, 85? Ooh. Math early in the morning. 75, that'll be 73. And this should be 61. Yeah, maybe. Don't. Brain's having issues. And that'll be 49, I think. Yeah. Let's see how that looks. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, neat. So there's the ocean floor. Yes. So there's a bit of a okay. So now we have our colors and we know what we want to have happen. So what we didn't get was this one here. Because if it's 4 pixels high, this should be 91. And this should be, that's 8 pixels high. Would be 83? I don't know. So then that would be 71. And that would be 59. That would be 47, I think. Whatever it is. That's why you like these videos, right? Watching me struggle with basic math in the morning. That's why it's important to study in school. Okay, so something's going on. Something's happening. We got something on the screen. I think those two colors are similar, and that's why they look the same. So we're starting at 95. This one starts at 91. Yeah, they're probably the same. I don't know. What's this here? So now we have our graphic of what we want the ocean to look like. So when it prints ocean, that's kind of what it looks like. Now again, it doesn't need to be that tall. And I think I was wrong in, actually it does, it needs to be taller than that, right? 12, let's go, because that's only 48. That's only half of it. So we can make these even bigger. Right. Yeah, we can either make it bigger, whatever. I suppose it doesn't matter. We can add a graphic in the background. But we could double these. We can try 20. It's just, you know, we just need the one even. We'll just have the one. I think that'll work. That's fine. And this could be 96. This could be off the screen. This could be 100, right? So that way, yeah, that's better. That's better. And it just shows, that way it just shows the depth. So our bottom is going to be 96, and our sea floor is going to be, so yeah, something like that, right? You see the depth? Hold on. Now I'm changing the positioning of where we want it to start. So if it starts in the bottom corner, yeah, and we subtract the depth, it should rise. Or do we need to divide it by... how deep it is? That might work, actually. That might work a little bit better. So all I'm doing now is I'm just playing around with, this is what I do. I just play around with the numbers, and I change things around, and I just do what I can, right? I try and figure out as many possibilities as I can. Which ones I like, which ones I don't like. That's why sometimes it takes me days and days and days to get a video out. Because I'll spend hours and hours and hours just testing. Can I do this? Can I do that? You know, what does that look like? Okay, so there's our sea floor. Yeah, there we go. So now it's shallow, right? It's doing the opposite of what we want it to do. Gotcha. It's doing the opposite. So we need to, that worked, multiply by depth, and then we need to multiply that by -1. I don't think that's going to work the way I wrote that expression. Hold the phone. That's better. I'm getting tired of walking. We're just gonna fly over here now. Alright. What, I don't even know what I did. Alright. So if we divide it by the depth, we're just gonna add that. So I'll have to, yeah, still setting up the basics here. We'll have to advance that expression into something else, and there's gonna be some true, false, whatevers. Okay, so that's on, but where's the graphic now? It's not even on the screen. Oh boy. Maybe it won't. Maybe it's not even printing. There it is. There it is. All right. Right. Okay. So we're starting at 95. We should be starting at 2. Let's try that. And that should bring us to this, where the ship is, quote unquote, right? The surface of the water. Oh yeah. Except it's not going the opposite way. So if we add the depth, holy moly, 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 moly. Hey, I managed to make almost a 1 hour video. There's still a little bit more to go as well. All right, so there we are. All right. Okay, perfect. So you saw it. It's kind of moving up and down based on where it is in the screen. Now, I mean, perhaps we could have it in the center of the screen, you know? Yeah, yeah. Maybe this is a bit better. So you don't know until you play around. Play around, figure it out. So now it's, oh no, it's got to go up just a little bit. All right. All right. Yes, for some reason in this case we're adding the depth to it. But if we start at the, I don't know, if we start at the top of the screen. My only concern is like the ocean is 300 deep. And this example here is only like, you know, 2 meters. I'm trying to base these numbers off just a couple of meters. So it's gonna need to be calibrated when we take it, you know, like a real test here, because this is the number I'm working with. It's not even a whole number. Yeah. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. So what I should do is try and see if I can measure that distance a little bit here. Okay, so we're getting close. We're getting close. Kind of. There's just a slight, you know, anyway. Okay. So what we need to do now that we have it scrolling, now that we have it moving the way that we want it to, this then becomes like our block, I guess you could say. So either that or what? So we could have like just a blue screen in the background, and then we could print the depth on top of that blue screen. Or we could try and make a, which would be cool, a fancy graphic that we print every tick. It saves the numbers and prints it. And then once it gets to a certain point, it'll start to delete those numbers. The numbers will roll off, and it'll just keep printing the new numbers and rolling off the old numbers. That's kind of where I'm going with this, right? So this, in theory, is just, this is wherever the sea floor is, right? So wherever it's starting on the screen, that's where the sea floor is. So it's going to be here or here, and then as we go along, it's going to keep printing and scrolling. So I don't know, like, if we need to save this number, this depth number, and then like into, let's see here. So this here, if we need to save it, either a threshold or no, we need we need a blinker. Yes, we need a blinker. It's gonna blink for a second. I think that's right. Let's test this. Let's test this. So every second it should be saving the depth. Oh, and then we'll just give a constant on signal. Just like that. So we'll take the number. And we need to read it. It's saying 8. Yeah, that is the distance, 8. Ouch. Alright, so if we... there we go. Okay, so it does save the number for us. So it'll save the number and print it. Okay, so now what we also want to do is our speed. Now we're going to redesign this. We're going to redesign this. The speed and that constant value. We're going to redesign this. So we'll get rid of the speed. And what I want to do is, it's going to print with this. Right? So every time this fires, it's going to print. So then what we need to do is we need a let's see, composite right on off. And that'll go through there. And so what we're going to do is, right, so we'll say print equals input dot get value dot get bool, and that's going to be channel 1. So then we're going to say if print then, if print then, and we'll say end. We could say else, blah, 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 the same way we write all our code. So now it should only print, it should print every time we get a value. Ah, there it is. Now, what we want to do is read those values. So we want to save our depth. Let's see. Oh, and then our speed. Now, what do we do for speed now? Oh, you know, it could be this plus 1 every time, and then we're not using speed anymore. Let's see if that works. No, because it'll be 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, whereas the speed is our... Yes. Our speed, we did all that. Was our total distance. So we still need that. We still need that, unfortunately. My mistake. We still need that distance. So let's change the code again. And then this can be plus. So every time it's going to be moving with the speed, it should be scrolling across the screen. So let's try that. Oh, we're not multiplying it. We're not multiplying it by 96. Could even, like I say, it could even be less than that. Whatever we want our scrolling speed to be. And that'll have to be balanced. It'll have to be balanced based on our ship. So that's the next part, right? I'll have to build it here in the lab. And then we'll have to put it on the ship, take it out to sea, and then test that configuration. Maybe what I'll do is I'll have a keypad, which can allow me to adjust that number. That would help. Yeah, there we go. You see it moving across the screen. Okay, so now what I want to do is so every function, it's going to print that, the C4. So we can then I wonder if we could say, I wonder if it'll let me do this. Oh, we don't. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. So once it gets to the end of the screen, it's going to need to reset it. It either needs to reset itself or... Okay, so we have that. So then... we don't need this part of the... This needs to be in here. It'll just print. It'll just print. Just as simple as that. Right, so what I'm doing now is I'm just going over all the possibilities. Created some things. What's going to work, what could work, what might not work. See, it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. All right. So... I wonder how many of these I'm going to have to set up. If we estimate that there's 96 pixels, yeah, this is going to be interesting. So what is going to happen is, I think, and this is what we're going to get into here in the next video, part 2. So what we did in this one here is we just set up a monitor. We're measuring our depth, and we're just configuring. We're taking a look at how we want it to scroll across the screen, left, right, up, down. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to be saving that and printing it, and then printing it, and then printing it. Instead of doing it like this, it's going to print on its own here as we go, and then it's going to reset, and roll off. So in the next video, that's what we will tackle. Again, it's just going to take me a little bit of thought just to think about how we need to store it and print it with this type of setup. If I want to use this or if I want to use a counter, that I'm not sure. Because if I use a counter, I can then reset the whole system at one time, and that might be a bit better. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. You guys are awesome, and I hope to see you in the next one.